بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم والصلاة والسلام على أشرف الأنبياء والمرسلين نبينا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين أما بعد السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. Alhamdulillah, we're closing in on the end of the book. We have 2 weeks left in this class, inshallah, and we will graduate from this book and move on to the Nahu book. Alhamdulillah, inshallah, everybody's excited. We have a lot to take in these next 2 weeks. We're not going to take a test this Sunday because there's so much information just in this chapter alone. In this chapter, we will learn, inshallah ta'ala, how to conjugate the command forms. So we need to know how to take a 3-lettered past tense verb and move it to command form. So we're going to learn the formula and how to do that, inshallah. Then we're going to go through all the exercises dealing with the command form. And then towards the end of the chapter, what we're going to do is then take the remaining 9 often used awzan of the verbs in Arabic. And they are what are called mazid fi, like 3-lettered past tense verb with additional letters, 1 extra letter, 2 extra letters, or 3 extra letters. And we're going to go over some benefits of them and learn them well, inshallah, because it is very important that we know these going into the Nahu book. If we are firm on those going into the Nahu book, things will be so much easier, inshallah. And when we learn those 10 awzan, those 9 extra ones, because we already learned fa'ala, fa'ula, fa'ila, that's considered 1. When we learn those other 9, we're going to learn how to conjugate them, yes. And we're also going to take a few extra things in those awzan because it's all about patterns in those 9 families. It's all about patterns. So we're going to extract, for example, how to say a doer of that verb, how to say the one who the verb is done to, and it's all patterns. So if we memorize the patterns, we're good to go, inshallah ta'ala. So everyone should be excited, because this is going to take this chapter right here, these 2 things that I just mentioned. If you are a beginner and you didn't previously take these things, it's going to take your Arabic to a whole nother level, inshallah ta'ala. So you should be happy and excited, really, to a whole nother level, subhanallah. So, alhamdulillah, bi'idhnillah, we reached that point. So just be patient. And then in the last chapter of the book, which we will take, depends how fast we go, close to next week, is dealing with how to look up words in the dictionary. So that is easy, and there's a small little text. We'll translate and go through it and prepare for the Nahu book. So I don't know about you, but I can't wait, inshallah. So, if we really strive hard right here, if we strive hard in these 2 weeks, that's all I'm asking for, these 2 weeks. Strive hard, memorize, walk around like a madman, saying these awzan, saying these command form verbs. We'll fly through the Nahu book, and then it will really get sweet when we go into the next level books, inshallah ta'ala. So, alhamdulillah, may Allah Azza wa Jal grant us success. So what I'm going to do now is begin explaining, inshallah, the command form for 3-lettered verbs, طيب. So let's do that right now. Let me adjust the microphone. Can everyone hear me clearly?
نعم.
It's clear?
نعم.
نعم.
ممتاز. الحمد لله. طيب. There it is. So what we're discussing right now is فعل الأمر, which is the command form. And I won't write it in English because at this point, let's break off of English little by little, inshallah. So فعل الأمر is command form. 4 3-lettered verbs. We're still talking about الفعل what do you call it? الفعل الثلاثي. We're still talking about الفعل الثلاثي. طيب. So in فعل الثلاثي, we learn how to conjugate the past tense verb, ماضٍ, and also مضارع. We need our مضارع right now. If you remember, in مضارع, also in ماضي, we had 3 categories, right? We had, the first one was الغائب. الغائب, which was third person, if you remember. And that was when we conjugated, for example, هو. Okay, هو. Let's say يذهب. هو يذهب. And we know the rest. هما يذهبان, هم يذهبون, هي تذهب, هما تذهبان, هن يذهبن. طيب, we're not concerned with this. In order to conjugate the فعل أمر and to know it well, the فعل الأمر, we need to get to المخاطب. We need to get to المخاطب. This is where we want to go. This is where we want to go. So these were the أنت, أنتما, أنتم, أنتي, أنتما, أنتن. Okay, so we'll start with أنت. So our فعل is يذهب. So if we go through the conjugation, هو يذهب, هما يذهبان, هم يذهبون, هي تذهب, هما تذهبان, هن يذهبن. Now we get to أنت. أنت تذهب. أنت تذهب. So here's the formula for فعل أمر to go into command form. Okay, we're trying to derive the command form from مخاطب of مضارع. It's very important. From مخاطب of مضارع. First thing that we have to do, my brothers, is remove the ta. First thing, it drops. Gone. So we're left with a ذال with sukun and hebu. Hebu. So it's hebu. Hebu. The question you need to ask yourself right now. So that's step number 1, drop the noon. Okay? So number 1, drop the noon. Step number 2, you're going to ask yourself the question, can it stand alone? What we mean by that is after you drop the ta, the very first letter, here it's the dhal, right? What we mean by is, can it stand alone? Does it have a haraka? It doesn't. It has a sukun. It just makes a sound. Had it had a fatha, dhahabu, or, you know, a kasra, the, or something like that, then we would say it stands alone. It's fine. It's fine. But if it can't stand alone, which is the case here for fi'lul amr, for a thulathi, for 3-letter past tense verbs, it cannot stand alone. So it's habu. So we need to give it help. So step number 3 is give it help. Give it help. And that help is you add a alif. You add a alif. The help is a alif. So let's go ahead and do that. Let's add that alif right here. And I'm going to put it in red to make it easier. Okay. We add that alif. Okay. Now, the 4th step, let me move this up a little bit. The 4th step is, okay, the alif needs a haraka. The alif needs a haraka. It just can't stay like that. So this alif, this hamzatul wasl, it actually is, that we added, it needs a haraka. Okay? So the rule is simple for the haraka. We go to the ainul fi'l. The ainul fi'l. If the ainul fi'l has a dhamma, okay? So we want to write here, if the ain of the fi'l has a Dhamma, then the alif takes a Dhamma. Then the alif takes a Dhamma. So we see here, the ha is the Ain al-Fi'l. Does it have a Dhamma? It does not. It has a Fatha. It has a Fatha. So the rule was, if the Ain al-Fi'l has a Dhamma, then the alif takes a Dhamma. Anything else? Anything else? Makes the alif take a kasra. So if it has a fatha or a kasra on the ayn al-fi'l, we need a kasra. So we'll give it a kasra. So it becomes idhabu. Idhabu. It's really easy. It's a lot of explanation, but it's really easy. You're going to get so used to it. It's no problem. So anta tadhabu. First thing we do is we cross out the ta. Second thing we do, does it need help? It needs help because it's left with habu. Habu. So we give it a help. We added the extra alif there in the beginning. That needs a haraka. Where do we get our haraka from? The ayn al-fi'l. If the ayn al-fi'l has a dhamma, then the alif takes a dhamma. If it has anything else, a fatha or kasra, we give the alif a kasra and we'll remain with idhabu. 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 But we're not done. We are not done. One final step. The fifth step is make it majzoom. Make it what? Majzoom. You remember the majzoom rules? What are the majzoom rules? The end will take a sukoon or drop the noon. The ones that have a noon, drop the noon, except for noon and niswa. Except for noon and niswa. So it takes a sukoon or drop the noon. Here there is no noon. It doesn't have that ani, una, ina thing at the end. So it's idhabu. So we just cross out this dhamma and we give it a sukoon. So the final result is idhab. Idhab. The final result is idhab, which means go. Idhab. You just commanded anta, a male in front of you. Anta idhab. You're telling him go. Idhab. Idhab. Like this. So let's do a couple more. Let's say anta. Anta, let's say tajlisu. Because remember, we got to go in mukhatab. Anta tajlisu. First thing we do is get rid of the ta. What are we left with? Jlisu. Jlisu. We ask, can it stand alone? It can't because it has a sukoon. Jlisu. If it had anything else, fatha, kasra, dhamma, it can stand alone. We leave it alone. No need to add that extra alif. But since it cannot stand alone, we add the alif. The alif needs the haraka from ayn al-fi'l. The ayn al-fi'l is lam here. We said if it takes a dhamma, then the alif takes a dhamma. Anything else, it takes a kasra. It has a kasra, so we add the kasra. And then it's ijlisu. Ijlisu. Final step is make it majzoom. So we cross out the dhamma and we give it a sukoon. We're left with ijlis. We're left with ijlis. 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 So you're telling somebody, sit. Ijlis, ya akhi. Sit, ya akhi. Ijlis. Okay? And this is all for anta. So we learn how to do idhab. We learn how to do ijlis. We're going to do one more. One more. Let me erase idhab over here to give us room. Okay? One more. And this one I'm going to keep all the same color. طيب.
I'm sorry
So
to interrupt.
let's do. Naam?
It should be dropped the ta, isn't it? The first point.
It is the first point. Number one, it says right here.
It says drop noon.
Oh, I meant ta. I think I just put the.
Is a majzoom principle there?
No. That's not what I meant. Drop the ta, as we've been doing in the examples.
Yeah.
It should be ta. Jazakallah khairan for that. It was just a typo or a
Yeah.
righto, what I say?
Typo.
Jazakallah khair.
Oh yeah.
Shukran. So yeah, we dropped the ta. Okay, so that's number one. So let's do one last one. Let's do anta taktubu. Anta taktubu. In order to derive the command form, anta taktubu means you are writing. We want to tell the person, write. So what do? We drop the ta, and we get left with tubu. Tubu. Okay, tubu. Can it stand alone? It cannot stand alone. It needs help. Let's give it a help. The alif. Alif takes its haraka from the ayn al-fi'l. The ayn al-fi'l is a ta here. We said the rule is if it has a dhamma, it takes a dhamma. Anything else, kasra, it has a dhamma. So let's give it a dhamma. We get left with uktubu. Last step is we make it majzoom. Cross out the dhamma and add a sukoon. The final result is uktub. Uktub. The final result is uktub. Uktub. So that's how we derive the fi'l al-amr from mudari' mukhatab. Just like that. So that was anta. Let's go ahead. Same steps with antuma. With antuma, except it ends in the alif and noon. So instead of making it a dhamma or making it a sukoon and getting rid of the dhamma, we're just going to get rid of the noon. So let's go to antuma. Let's say antuma with for two people, two males we're talking to. It doesn't matter on this one, but two people we're talking to. We'd say antuma tajlisani. You two are sitting. Tajlisani. We said first thing we do is get rid of the noons. Get rid of the ta. So let's do that. Have I been saying noon, ya akhil kareem, this whole time, Anas?
Yeah, in the beginning you did, but then you corrected. You said ta later.
Okay, subhanallah. Allah musta'an. I don't know where my brain goes sometimes.
No.
So yeah, we remove the ta. We remove the ta. Barakallahu feek. So because I almost wanted to say noon there for some reason. So then, subhanallah. So we remove the ta. Ta is gone. So we get left with lisani. Lisani. We asked the question, can it stand alone? It cannot, because it has a sukoon. Lisani, you can't start an Arabic word with a sukoon. So what do? We have to give it help. So let's give it a help. We add the alif. We take our haraka of the alif from the ayn al-fi'l, which is the second letter. So the second letter is lam, it has a kasra. The rule is if it has a dhamma, give it a dhamma. If it has anything else, give it a kasra. So it has a kasra, we'll give it a kasra. We're left with ijlisani. So we're commanding two people now. Final step is make it majzoom. We make this majzoom by removing the noon. So let's drop the noon. And then we get left with final result. Ijlisa. Just like that. Ijlisa. So we have yani ijlisa. Okay. Now let's do antum. More of the same, but it's good to practice. So we're going to practice. More of the same. Antum. Let's do taktub. So antum taktubuna. Antum taktubuna. First thing we do is drop the ta. Bam, gone. What are we left with? Tubuna. We ask ourselves, can it stand alone? It can't, because it starts with the kasra. So let's give it some help. We add the alif. Alif takes its haraka from the ainul fi'l. The ta is the ainul fi'l, the second letter. The rule is if it has a dhamma, you give it a dhamma. Anything else, kasra. It has a dhamma. Tubuna. So it has a dhamma. So we give the alif a dhamma. Last step is make it majzoom. How do we make it majzoom? Drop the noon. Boom. Noon is gone. So we get left with uktubu. Uktubu. We get left with uktubu. I can't get rid of that dot. Sorry, it's bothering me. One moment. Now. So we get left with uktubu. Uktubu. Noon dropped. Alhamdulillah. Once the noon dropped, it's final result. So then when we go to, for example, anti, and this is why I said we have to go to mukhatab. Limada? Because of the anti. If we stayed on ghaib, the anti is it would be taktubu or tajlisu or tadhabu, like this. And we can't have that because anti has its own shape and form to conjugate. So let's go to anti here. Let's erase all of this. By the way, this don't forget this. Let me move this because that will confuse you. We'll say alif here. But this uktubu here, this uktubu also will take a alif. And remember, it's for writing and all of that sukun and combining things that we did long time ago. We clarified that in the chat room. So don't forget to add that alif there. Uktubu. Let's erase everything and do anti now. And do anti. This time, what I want is, inshallah ta'ala, me to call upon somebody and see if they remember the steps. If I can have Sheikh Nathaniel, are you with us?
No.
So we're doing anti. So can you tell me we have anta tajlisu, antuma tajlisani, antum tajlisuna. What would anti be?
For what word?
Tajlisu.
Oh, tajlisu?
For mudariya, for present tense.
It would be taklisun,
So we have tajlisu.
Tajlisu tusuni. I can't
You remember the anti was unique.
Yes.
So we don't say tajlisu, we say tajlisi.
Taklusini.
Sina. Yes. Barakallah fiqh. So tajlisina. Anti tajlisina. Let's go through the steps to get to fi'lul amr.
Okay. The first step would be to get rid of the ta.
Let's drop the ta. Then we're left with ijlisina. Okay.
Now,
what's the next step?
The next step is to give it a alif.
Let's give it an alif. Okay. What's after that?
I would drop the noon.
Before that, there's something. We can't leave that alif alone.
Oh, the alif would take it would be a kasra.
It would be a kasra. Why would it be a kasra?
Because the ainul fi'l has a kasra.
No. How about if it had a fatha?
Then it would take dhamma, correct?
No.
No,
Only if it has a dhamma, it would take a dhamma.
the government. So with fatha and
In a kasra?
it would take a kasra then.
A
Okay.
kasra. Very good. Barakallah fiqh. So what's the next step? So we have ijlisina. The next step is?
To drop the noon.
Let's
Right.
drop it. And then the final thing is? Tell me.
I don't know where to place the sukoon. Oh, would
It
I put
stays
it?
there. It just stays there. Just drop the noon and pronounce it as it is.
Oh, ijlisi.
Aywa. Ijlisi. That's how you command for a female. Anti ijlisi. You tell her sit down. Ijlisi.
Yeah. Well, I'm gonna let you do that part.
That just sounded digging myself another hole, subhanAllah.
Yeah, what's that?
Yes.
So that's not a noon and niswa. So
No.
okay.
Nun and Niswa is only the
Antunna and hunna now.
yes. That's the
Okay.
Nun and Niswa. When they gather together, that's where their strength shows. Because when they're alone like this, they know they have strength, but okay, take the noon. We'll be back. We'll be back at the end because you can't move past that Antunna, right?
Don't forget they got their group now.
They got their group now. You can't do anything. Subhanallah. You know, when they gang up, it's game over. Subhanallah.
It's like the Arabic scholars knew this and just put the hikmah in there, huh?
I'm telling you, this was the easy thing for them to figure out. Noon doesn't drop. Let's just move on. Allah mustaan. Alhamdulillah. So we got it. Good job, Sheikh Nathaniel. Ijlisi.
Alhamdulillah.
So that's the noon. And then the antuma is the same. You drop the noon, so it would be ijlisa. And then for antunna, that's the one. Let's just go through the steps real quick. So we would say antunna, right? Antunna tajlisna. Tajlisna. So we said first step is these dots, subhanallah, is we remove the noon. Bam, gone. Then we have listener.
Listener.
So we say, can it stand alone? It can't. We need to give it help. Let's give it help. The alif. Take the haraka from the ayn al-fi'l. If it has a dhamma, give it a dhamma. Anything else, kasra goes here. Ijlisna. And you're done. So that final step doesn't apply here.
Oh, the noon is not dropped?
Noon is not dropped for antunna. You remember the noon and niswa, the group of women, they don't drop. Yeah.
Nah, they don't go anywhere.
They don't go anywhere. Ijlisna. So that was it. Now, an easier way or an easy way to remember is just write down yani idhab, idhaba, اذهبوا، اذهبي، اذهبا، اذهبنا، اذهبنا. So you can memorize it like that. So you have, if you have one with a dhamma like uktub, uktuba, just the endings you need to know. Uktuba, uktubu, uktubi, uktuba, uktubna. Just like that. Alhamdulillah. So that's an easy way to memorize it too, but I want y'all to know the steps. So like if we take a test or if I ask you to do an assignment, inshallah ta'ala, then through the assignment, you would have to show all of the steps, inshallah. طيب. So alhamdulillah. Let's, before we move on, let's get some exercises going here. Let's ask Abu Isa.
Now, Sheikh.
Pick any fi'l mudari' that we know, that we have taken. So don't bring a crazy baqbaqa or something like that.
Baka you bakbiku.
Baqbaqa, you baqbiqu. No, you know, something we've taken, inshallah ta'ala, and take it in the mukhatab form and choose one of the mukhatab, anta, antum, antum, anti, antum, antunna, and spell it out for us. So tell us, and I'll write what you say.
Okay. Yansuru, tansuru,
Okay, so we're at anta, anta, tansuru. Naam.
you want to go through all of them or just the one?
Just this one, inshallah.
Okay.
Give us the
Tansuru. So we drop the ta.
All right. And hang on. Be patient so I can write what's left. Keep going. Explain it well, inshallah.
Inshallah. You add an alif because
Why?
the noon has a kasra. So we can't just have it nusru.
Yeah, sukoon. The noon has a
Nusuru.
sukoon.
Yeah. Sukun. I don't know why I said kasra.
No. That's like me saying noon earlier instead of that.
Inshallah.
We add the alif. Okay, we added the alif. What's next?
So we look at the ayn al-fi'l. In this case, it's the sad, and it has a dhamma.
Mhm.
So we give the alif a dhamma.
Got it. Okay. What's next?
Next, we would take away or change the dhamma on the ra to a sukun,
To sukoon. And what's that called? What's the state of the word?
majzoom,
Majzoom. So our final is what?
unsur.
Good. Unsur. Just like that. MashaAllah. Tabarakallah. Alhamdulillah. Alhamdulillah. Yeah, very good. Very good, mashallah.
Jazakallah khair.
وإياكم. Sukun at the end of the word only if it has a dhamma. Naam, ya akhi. The brother, he asked, we add a sukun at the end of the word only if it ends in a dhamma. That's right. So if you have the ones that our brother said, you remember the 5 in the pocket? The ones that end in Annie and Una and Ina? Those you remove the noon. The only noon you do not remove, remember, is the group of women. The noon on niswa. That stays. So either you're going to add a sukoon or you're going to drop the noon except for noon on niswa. That's simple. Alhamdulillah. So if you remember these steps from here on out, inshallah, command forms should be easy for you. Okay? You will get braver and braver and start commanding groups of people. MashaAllah. Subhanallah. طيب. So excellent. Alhamdulillah. I take it. Let's move on, inshallah, and get to our story. That was quick. Alhamdulillah. Raise your hand if you don't understand still and you would like to do more exercises. But remember, there's plenty in the book after the story. Okay. Alhamdulillah. Let's go to our story. So, Al-Wahdatu Sadis, the 6th chapter. We're on the 6th chapter, Alhamdulillah. Ad-Darsu Sadis, the 6th lesson. It's over Fi'lul Amr. Alhamdulillah. So, the first word is Mu'allim. Mu'allim. Mu'allim means teacher. At the end of this chapter, you will know which verb Mu'allim came from and know how to say you will know how to say the past tense, present tense, the amr of mu'allim, and a few more things, inshallah. So you will conjugate, يعني علم يعلم تعليما فهو معلم والأمر منه علم. Like this, inshallah. I'm excited for you guys. So you'll be able to look at a word like this and automatically you know where it comes from. Inshallah, bi'idhnillah. So teacher is mu'allim. As-sibaha, the word as-sibaha means swimming. Swimming. So swimming teacher. Okay. معلم. طيب. Now we have الكلمات الجديدة. Let's take these. Let me make my pen less, or make it thinner and not thick. So we have سبح يسبح. إسبح. See, now it gives us 3 instead of 2. Before it just gave us past tense and mudari. Now it's giving us past tense, mudari, and amr. That's why I was telling you guys earlier, don't jump the gun. Everything is coming. Because we have people and brothers here that learn from different teachers, and sometimes they may give you the past tense, present tense, the amr. Here in this program, in the Imam Saud University program here, brick by brick. They want to make sure you understand every masala before you move on. So, sabaha yasbahu isbah. And we got the isbah from yasbahu when it goes to anta tasbahu. You remove the ta at the alif, put the kasra, put the sukoon. At the end, you get isbah, which means swim. You tell somebody to swim. So, sabaha yasbahu means swim. So, sabaha, he swam. Yasbahu, he is swimming. Isbah, swim. So now we know 3 of those. Sabaha, yasbahu, isbah. Okay. This next one, it didn't give us the amr because we didn't take anything like this with a shadda at the last word. That's on another level of sarf. When we do that book, we're going to get to it. I don't like to really get too far ahead and explain things. We'll let it come naturally through the process of this program, inshallah. So we have past tense and present tense. The fi'l is zalla. What just happened? Hold on. Are y'all able to see my screen? Can someone answer?
Nah, I can see the screen.
It vanished from me, but it came back, alhamdulillah. So we have zalla yazillu, okay, which means slip. Slip. Now, some scholars are in disagreement on this. Does zalzala come from zalla? Some say yes, some say no. But it makes sense, even the ones that say yes, because zalzala is earthquake. When it happens, yani it causes people to slip and so on and so forth. So to slip is zalla yazillu. Okay. Then next word we have an-najda. An-najda means help. An-najda means help. It means help. Next fi'l we have also, it won't give the amr because we didn't take this problematic letter. Remember the problematic letters? Waw, alif, and ya. Whenever they come, they cause problems. That's why it won't give you the amr. That's later on. So the fi'l is saha yasihu. Saha yasihu. Saha means he screamed or yelled out. Saha. Yasihu, obviously the present tense is he's yelling out or he's screaming. Then we have the 3, because they're normal. No problematic letters in them. 3-lettered past tense verb. Sakata, yaskutu, uskut. We got uskut from anta taskutu. Drop the ta. Then we give it an alif. Take the haraka for the alif from the ayn al-fi'l, which is a dhamma here on the kaf. And last part is make it majzoom with the sukoon, so it becomes uskut. It becomes uskut. So sakata yaskutu uskut is yani he was silent. He was silent. He is silent. Be quiet. Uskut. Uskut. طيب. So once again, these verbs, sabaha yasbahu, isbah. Now we know how to even take it in the command form, alhamdulillah. It means swam. Swimming, swim. Zalla yazillu, slip is slipping. An-najda, help. Saha yasihu, yani yelled out or screamed out. Where are we at? Sakata yaskutu uskut, was silent. He's keeping silent. Be quiet or be silent. Okay. So I hope you wrote those down, inshallah. And then the mustalihat, yani hamzatul wasl. We've taken this before. Hamzatul wasl is this alif that we add. For example, in uskut for amr, we add that alif, right? Uskut. What this means is that this alif, hamzatul wasl, can be skipped over if there is a letter behind it that has a harakah. So if we add a waw with a fatha before, wa, and mean and be quiet. If you want to tell somebody and be quiet, you do not say wa uskut, you say waskut. Hamzatul wasl, you skip over it and go to the sukoon, even though there's a dhamma there. So you don't say uskut, you say waskut. That's what hamzatul wasl means. Okay? You skip over it. You skip over it. You don't say wa uskut, you skip over it. If there's nothing before it and you start your statement with uskut, then you say dhamma. Otherwise, whatever the harakah of the letter before it, you just connect it to the sukoon. Is that clear, inshallah? If anyone has a question about that, just ask now.
And that's only if the Hamza has a dhamma on it. It doesn't matter if it has a kasra.
No, even if it has a kasra.
Okay.
Nope. Yeah, even if it has a kasra. So even if it's ijlis, if it's ijlis, right? Ijlis, and you have wow behind it, you would say wajlis. Wajlis. It has no strength, that hamzatul wasl. Even though it has a harakah, it gets pushed out of the way by what's before it. طيب? But if you start the sentence with it, then you say ijlis. Ijlis.
A question, Sheikh.
Naam.
The Hamzatul Wasal doesn't have a small Hamza on top of it?
No, that's not the wasl. That's this one. You see this one? This is the strong one. So if I say, in no three-lettered past tense verb, okay? No three-lettered past tense verb has this powerful hamza here. When you get to amr, never. They're only hamzatul wasl. You skip over them. So this one you can't skip over it. And I don't want to explain it now. It'll come later. Inshallah, actually, it'll come at the end of this chapter. So I don't want to give too much, inshallah. So this one is hamzatul wasl, you skip over it. That other hamza, you can't skip over it. Wa iyak. طيب. And then kasara yaksiru, don't worry about that. Alhamdulillah. So let's go to our story and see what is going on with this story. Naam. So, and let me explain some af'al here that maybe y'all don't understand. First word is waqafa. حسان مع أصحابه أمام النهر يعلمهم السباحة وقال. So first word is waqafa, which means stood. If someone, for the sake of Allah Azza wa Jal, from the students, is able to put together, we haven't seen those PDFs make their way around. We need one, inshallah, with all of these words. So waqafa, waqafa, just waqafa, because we haven't studied how to do the mudariya yet and the amr for that. Just waqafa, to know that it means stood. Stood. Later on, when our sarf strengthens, it'll come automatic. We'll know how to do it. So stood. So who stood? Hassanu, because it has a dhamma. So waqafa Hassanu, Hassan stood, ma'a, with, ashabihi, his companions. Amam al-nahri. Nahr is the river. And nahr is the river. We know amam, it means in front. So in front of the river. وقف حسان مع أصحابه أمام النهر. Hassan stood with his companions, his friends, أمام النهر, in front of the river. What was he doing? يعلمهم, which is teaching them. يعلمهم means teaching them. يعلمهم means teaching them. Teaching them what? السباحة. السباحة, swimming. Teaching them, meaning how to swim. Teaching them to swim. You absolutely can say to swim. Whenever you have a masdar, السباحة, you can say it means swimming, or you can say it means to swim. If you remember a couple lessons ago, I went over that. So يعلمهم السباحة, teaching them to swim. One more time. وقف حسان مع أصحابه. Hassan stood with his friends أمام النهر, in front of the river. يعلمهم السباحة, teaching them swimming. Teaching them swimming. وقال انزل يا عبد القيوم. انزل يا عبد القيوم. انزل. Let's see here. Okasha. Salam alaikum. Where does
وعليكم
inzil
السلام.
come from?
من نزل ينزل
Barakallah fik.
وفيك بارك الله.
Nazala yanzilu. We've taken this. It means to descend or yani get down, right? Meaning, you know, even like stairs, something that is lower, you get down. So inzil was from nazala yanzilu. If we take it to mukhatab, it would be anta tanzilu. Remove the ta, add the alif, give it a kasra, add a sukun at the end, you get inzil. So he's saying inzil, which means, yeah, you're not going to translate as descend or get down. No, it means here you would translate as, although it does mean get down, and then he's talking to Abdul Qayyum, and then at the end it says fil ma'i, in the water. So obviously you're going to say inzil here is get in the water, in good English translation. Even though in Arabic it does mean descend in the water, but we don't talk like that it makes sense in Arabic, but if we translate it word for word in English, we'll lose the student, right? So you have to say get in the water. O Abdul Qayyum. Inzil ya Abdul Qayyumi fil ma'i. I'm going to give y'all a little lesson right now. You remember when I said about idafa, whenever you find a word like abd right here, no alif lam, no tanween. Second word has alif lam. And we said try to put the word of in the middle. If it fits, keep it. If it doesn't, don't worry about it. So abd yani means slave. Slave of al-Qayyum, one of Allah's names. Slave of al-Qayyum. But that's not my point here. My point is whenever you call someone, yeah, and his name has two names like this, Abdul Qayyum, it's idafa. If you can remember this, if you don't worry. The first name will have a fatha. So when you call somebody and their name is idafa, it has two names. First one doesn't have alif lam, no tanween. Second one has alif lam. You're going to give that first word a fatha. Whenever you use nida, calling, Ya Abdul Qayyum. You never say Ya Abdul Qayyum. You say Ya Abdul Qayyum. And I don't want to spend too much time on that. If you got it, you got it. If not, no worries. So he says, Inzil ya Abdul Qayyumi fil ma. Get in the water, O Abdul Qayyum. Then he says, La takhaf. La takhaf. This is prohibition. We haven't studied that yet. It will come, inshallah. So I don't want to explain it. But La takhaf means don't be scared. Don't be scared. La takhaf. La takhaf. Don't be scared. So who's saying this? Hassan. وقف حسان مع أصحابه أمام النهر يعلمهم السباحة. Hassan stood with his companions in front of the river, teaching them to swim. وقال, and he said, انزل يا عبد القيوم في الماء لا تخف. Get in the water, O Abdul Qayyum. Don't be scared. And then he says, Ya Omar. So he sees another one of his friends. He's teaching all these guys how to swim. So he says, Ya Omar, O Omar. Okay. Ubsut. Ubsut comes from Basata. Basata yabsutu. Yabsutu. Basata yabsutu. Which means spread. Spread. Spread out. It means to spread out. Admir wrote, miss those days swimming in the rivers. Ya akhi, what rivers were you swimming in? Subhanallah. That's not common in America, by the way, to swim in any river. You never want to swim in any river in America, subhanallah. Especially down south, because we have gators and alligators and crocodiles, subhanallah.
Especially on the East Coast.
But Albania, for sure. Albania, the cold water, subhanallah. Especially on the East Coast, he said, yeah. Or Kasha, he said, especially not NYC rivers, for sure. You might, you will get some diseases or something will happen with your body, for sure. We got something else in those waters, Rehan says. I don't know what he's talking about.
Yeah, you might discover some friends down there.
Friends down there. Yeah, I get it now, subhanallah. Yeah, especially on the East Coast. It was known those rivers, yani the mafia and things like that. Allah mustaan. But in Albania, he's right, subhanallah, the waters, the rivers are beautiful. I know my father is Albanian, yeah, but he's from Macedonia, which used to be part of Albania as well. There's a really cold mountain river in front of his home. And I'm talking, if you keep your foot in there for like over 30 seconds, it starts to go numb and it hurts. That's how cold it is, subhanallah. But if you swim in that on a hot day, it feels so good, subhanallah. Anyway, Basata yabsutu, which means to spread out. Okay, so that comes from yabsutu. If we take it to mukhatab, anta tabsutu, you are spreading out, right? We drop the ta at the alif. It has a dhamma on the ayn al-fil. Give it a dhamma. Put a sukoon at the end. You get ubsut at the end. So what does he say? Spread out what? So he's saying, yeah, Omar. He's calling Omar. He's saying, oh, Omar, ubsut. Spread out, kaffayka. Kaffayka means your palms. Ubsut kaffayka. Like in the hadith of Jibril, in the hadith of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, where they were sitting with Jibril, and then حتى جلس إلى النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم ووضع كفيه على فخذيه. So he put his kaffayhi, his palms on his thighs. So Jibril put his palms on his thighs, and then he asked Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, tell me about Islam, and so on and so forth. So kaffayka means your palms. Jayyiden, well. So ubsut kaffayka jayyiden. Spread out your palms well. Wadrib, from daraba yadribu. You see, daraba yadribu. Here, because it's yadribu, when you get to anta, it's tadribu. The ayn al-fil has a kasra, so it's idrib, right? It's idrib. But it's hamzatul wasl. So since there is a waw with a fatha here, you skip over it and go straight to the sukoon. Wadrib. So strike, right? From daraba yadribu to hit. Here it's strike. So he's telling him, ubsut kaffayka jayyiden. Spread out your palms well. Wadrib bihima. And strike the both of them. Al-ma. Strike the water with both of them. Strike the water with both of them. Bihima means with both of them. Wadrib bihima al-ma. So with both of your palms, strike the water. What kind of swimming lessons this is? Allah knows. Ubsut kaffayka jayyiden wadrib bihima al-ma. So spread out your palms well and strike the water with them both. Okay, so he taught that one how to swim as well. Let's finish the story for today, inshallah. Wa anta ya Ibrahim, and you, O Ibrahim, Iftah from fataha yaftahu. See, another amr. From fataha yaftahu, you take it to anta taftahu, remove the ta, add the alif, put the kasra, put the sukun, you get left with iftah, which means open aynayka. Open aynayka, your eyes. Subhanallah. Your eyes. Open your eyes. You remember the rule of idafa and the noon for duals? Aynayn. The noon gets dropped, so that's why it's aynayka. Iftah aynayka. Open your eyes. Wanzur. Wanzur. From the fi'l we already know. Nadara. Yanzuru. Nadara yanzuru. We take it to tanzuru. So anta tanzuru. Drop the ta, add the alif. We get left with there's a dhamma on the ayn al-fi'l. So we add a dhamma here. It becomes unduru. Cross that out. Give it a sukun. It becomes undur. But since it's hamzatul wasl, this waw has a fatha. We skip over it and say wandur, which means look. So he's telling the guy, iftah aynayka wandur dakhil al-ma. You remember kharij, outside? Dakhil is inside. And look inside the water. What kind of swimming lessons are these? Iftah aynayka wanzur dakhil al-ma, and look inside the water. Qala ashabuhu, his friend said, uskut ya Hassan, be quiet, oh Hassan. Remember sakata yaskutu? Uskut. Uskut ya Hassan, be quiet, oh Hassan. Wa ta'al, you remember we took that ta'al. Wa ta'al, and come, isbah. وتعال اسبح, meaning and come and swim معنا, with us. وتعال اسبح معنا, and come and swim with us. انزل وجرب الماء. انزل, get in. وجرب, jarib means try. Get in and try the water. You know how we say, like, you try the water. Doesn't mean like drink it. He means like get in and try it. You know, so is it cold, hot? انزل وجرب الماء. So then here we have hawala, which means tried. Okay, so he told him, get in and try the water. Hawala Hassanu, Hassan tried, and to yanzila, to get in. And here, the fatha, because of the an, if you remember. So hawala Hassanu an yanzila. He tried to get in. Walakinna, however, qadamahu, qadam means foot. So qadamahu means his foot. Zallat. Zallat, slipped. His foot slipped. Wa saqata, saqata, yani you could say fell. Fi nahri. He fell in the river. Wa saha, saha means he yelled. He yelled. What did he yell? An-najda. An-najda, help, help. Innani, I don't, innani, I, or certainly I, if you want to add the emphasis. Innani la a'rifu, I do not know as-sibaha, how to swim. So he was faking it the whole time. He didn't know what he was talking about. Open your eyes, look underwater. They told him to get in. His foot slipped. He fell in the water. Now he's in trouble. Help, help. I don't know how to swim. And that's the end of our story, inshallah ta'ala.
He's from the East Coast, Todd.
He's from the East Coast. This is an East Coast story. Sahih. He was faking it the whole time, trying to look good. And then he slipped, and then he got exposed. Subhanallah. Barakallahu feekum. I can't take any more time because the sisters' class is starting now. Inshallah. Just go over your notes, inshallah, for tomorrow. We'll see y'all tomorrow. Inshallah, subhanak Allahumma wa bihamdik. Nashadu an la ilaha illa ant nastaghfiruka wa natubu ilayk. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.